Hello everyone. Now today I am going to start the power measurement in three-phase circuits. So before starting the power measurement in three-phase circuits, we'll first try to understand the connection of the wattmeter. Now connection of the wattmeter is, the wattmeter has got one current coil and the other one is the potential coil. Normally this is the nomenclature by which we designate. This is your current coil, that is designated by just a single turn coil, and the pressure coil or the voltage coil is designated by a resistance. Now if you have seen the wattmeter, the current coil is connected between M and L and the pressure coil is connected between C and V. Now if we connect to a given single phase load, this wattmeter, suppose this is a load and here is your supply. So the current coil will be connected in series to the load and the voltage coil will be connected in parallel to the supply, and this is your wattmeter. So this is the normal connection of the wattmeter, where you have got one current coil, one pressure coil. The current coil is connected in series as the ammeter and the pressure coil is connected in parallel as the voltmeter. Now this wattmeter will read as VI cos phi, that is, it will read the voltage, current and the cosine of the angle between the voltage and the current. So we say that this wattmeter is used for power measurement. So this is your single phase connection, single phase wattmeter connection. This is the simple connection. You make it for the any power measurement in the single phase connection. Now in three phases, you will connect this wattmeter in all the three phases, or if it is a balanced connection, we can have the connection in one phase and the other three phases, because we'll assume it is similar and therefore it will be multiplied by 3. Now suppose these are the three phases R, Y and B. If we have to connect a wattmeter, so over here we'll connect a wattmeter and this will be connected to the neutral point. This is your wattmeter. So okay, suppose this wattmeter reads as, because this will read as, because voltage is connected between the phase and the neutral point, hence it is reading the V phase. The current, it is a star connection, so the line current and the phase current is the same, so it is I phase and cos phi, that is your what will give power consumption in a single phase. Now if it is a balanced load and you have got the power consumption in one phase, then the total power consumed in three phase can be given as 3 Vp Ip cos phi. This is known as single wattmeter method. This is known as the power measurement in three-phase circuits as single wattmeter method. This can be used if the system is balanced, that is all the three loads are the same and the supply voltages are same. Then we can use the single wattmeter method, connect the wattmeter between any phase and the neutral and multiply the wattmeter reading by 3, and that will give you the total power consumption in the three phase. The other way is, that is, you can have the 3 wattmeter method. 3 wattmeter method means all the three phases will have the wattmeter connected in the individual phases and the potential coil will be connected between the neutral and the phase. So this wattmeter is reading the power consumed by phase R. This wattmeter is reading the power consumed by phase B, and the third wattmeter is reading the power consumed by the phase B. So the total watt power consumed by the three-phase circuit will be WR plus WY plus WB. That is, all the three readings has to be added together, and you will get the power consumed in each phase, and the total power consumed will be the addition of the three individual wattmeter readings. Now suppose any one load is negative, then how to read the negative reading? Because this addition is the algebraic sum. This is not the numeric sum, this is the algebraic sum. Algebraic sum means that if any wattmeter is reading negative, then the wattmeter has to be taken as the negative. So when you have got any wattmeter reading as negative, for that the wattmeter can't take negative reading. So in that case, we reverse the current coil terminals and take the reading, and that will be physically taken as minus of that wattmeter reading. So any way, if for any reading, when you want to take it from the wattmeter and the wattmeter needle is going reverse side beyond 0, in that case you know that the wattmeter reading is negative. So to convert that negative reading into the quantitative value, so we have to interchange the current coil terminals, and therefore it will be reading the negative power consumed in that phase, and you will read the magnitude and replace this positive sign by a negative sign. Then the wattmeter reading will be taken as the negative. So this is your 3 wattmeter method. Now the third one is to have just 2 wattmeters in the circuit, and we'll see that whether these 2 wattmeter can give you the 3-phase power or not. So in third case, we'll have 2 wattmeters, one connected in phase R, and this voltmeter will be connected to the third phase. The third phase will be taken as the common point. This is our W1 now, this is our W2, and the third phase B is taken as the common point. This means the W1, this is our 2 wattmeter method. In 2 wattmeter method, W1 is reading the voltage as VRB. R is positive, B is negative, so it is reading the voltage VRB into IR, and W2 is reading the voltage as VYB into IY. Now if we add the 2, that is W1 plus W2, this will be written as VRB into IR plus VYB into IY. Now for any 3-phase connection, as we have seen that the 3 terms are written as 120-degree phasor difference each, that is IR is, suppose that is as reference, so this is your IR angle 0 degree or I phase angle 0 degree, IY is I phase angle 120, and IB was I phase angle plus 120 or minus 240. Now if you make the sum of IR plus IY plus IB, then this comes as 0. So if the sum of 3 phase currents is equal to 0, in that case we can write as I phase currents, or the voltage is also is the same. So VR is equal to Vy is equal to Vb is equal to V phase, and the sum of three voltages will be also equal to 0. So we can write as Vb is equal to minus of Vr plus Vy. Now this can be written as VRB means VR minus VB into IR plus VYB into IY is can be written as VY minus VB into IY, and this is equal to VRIR plus VY IY minus VB IR minus VB IY, and that VB is common, so we can take it as VRIR plus VY IY plus VB and minus IR minus IY. So similarly over here we can write for the current as the sum of the three currents will be equal to 0. So IB is equal to minus of IR and minus IY. So this, if you substitute over here, you will get it as VR into IR, your W1 plus W2 is equal to VR IR plus VY IY plus VB IB. So these are individual wattmeter readings, and therefore the 2 wattmeter can be useful in having the 3 phase power consumed, and that is why normally we use the 2 wattmeter method for the calculation of the power consumed in 3-phase circuits. Now with the 2 wattmeter method only, we will try to have the phasor diagram and also the power factor measurement of the given circuit. Now this is your star connection. I'll just redraw the circuit. This is our phase B, this is phase R, and just bit. So B is the common terminal. This is your W1 and this is our W2. So over here, if I draw the phasor diagram, taking the phase VR as the reference, Vy, and this is our Vb. Now the first wattmeter is reading the voltage as VRB and the current is IR, and what is the angle? Angle is the angle between VRB and IR. So VRB means VR minus VB, that means it will be this is our voltage VR. VRB, and the second wattmeter is reading the voltage as VYB because it is connected between Y and B. The negative is B, so this is reading the voltage as VYB, and the current is IY. So the B is negative over here. This is our minus VB, and therefore the phasor sum of the two will be VYB. So this is our voltages. Now suppose we are calculating this power for a lagging phase current by an angle of phi. This is phi, this is IY, this angle is phi, and this is IB, this angle is phi. Now, what is the angle between VRB and IR? This angle, total angle is 30 degrees. This total angle, the angle between VR and the line voltage. The line voltage leads the individual phase voltage by 30 degree over here. Now this angle is 30 degree. So this is the angle between the VRB and the current IR. So this angle will be equal to 30 minus 5. Similarly, for VYB, this is also 30 degree. So the angle between VYB and IY is 30 plus 5. This angle will be 30 plus 5. Therefore, we can say that this W1 reads the voltage VRB into IR into cos this angle, that is 30 minus 5, and W2 reads the voltage VYB, current IY, and the angle is 30 plus 5, that is the angle between VYB and IY, that is 30 plus 5. Now if it is a balanced load, in that case the magnitude of the line voltages will be equal to VL. This can be taken as the line voltage because this is connected over here, so it is the line voltage. So VL IL cos 30 minus 5, and W2 reads as VL IL cos 30 plus 5. Now when you add the two, W1 plus W2, it will be as, add the two equations, VL IL in bracket, because that is the common term in both the equations, W1 and W2. So this becomes as VL IL in bracket cos 30 minus 5 and cos 30 plus 5. When you expand the two, you will get it as VL IL cos into 2 cos 30 degree cos 5. Now cos 30 degree is half root 3 by 2. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So this will be equal to root 3 VLIL cos 5. This means that this is giving you the three-phase power consumed. What is the equation for the three-phase power consumed? The three-phase power can be given as 3 V phase I phase cos 5 or root 3 VL IL cos 5. So over here your W1 and plus W2 is giving you root 3 VL IL cos 5. This means it is the giving you the total power consumed by the three-phase circuit, which is equal to root 3 VLIL cos 5, and that is equal to W1 plus W2. Now to calculate the power factor, we will calculate W1 minus W2. Here, what all we calculated, that is W1 is equal to VL IL cos 30 minus 5. W2 was VL IL cos 30 plus 5, and W1 plus W2 was equal to root 3 VL IL cos phi. Now we have to calculate W1 minus W2. Now W1 plus minus W2 means VL IL, again we'll take the common term, cos 30 minus phi minus cos 30 plus phi. So the cosine terms will get cancelled out and you will be left out with VL IL 2 sine 30 degree and sine phi. Sine 30 is half, so this comes as VL IL sine phi. So our W1 the minus W2 is VL IL sine phi. Divide the two and you will get it as W1 plus W2 by W1 minus W2 is equal to root 3 VL IL cos phi divided by VL IL sin phi. This means tan phi is equal to root 3 into W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So when you have to find out the power factor, you can take the tan inverse of root 3 W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2 and cosine of it will give you the power factor. That is cos phi will be equal to cosine of tan inverse root 3 W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. So we can find out the power factor, we can find out the individual readings if we have known the what is the power being consumed by the given circuit. Now we will see the effect of change of power factor on wattmeter readings. Previously when we had done the 2 wattmeter method, we had seen that W1 is equal to VL IL cos 30 minus phi and W2 is equal to VL IL cos 30 plus phi and phi is equal to tan inverse of root 3 W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. Now these things we have already seen now in the 2 wattmeter method of the measurement of the power in 3 phase. Now we want to see the effect of change of power factor. Now suppose you first case we are taking the power factor is unity. Now if the power factor is unity, this means that cos phi is equal to 1 or phi is equal to 0 degree. This means what will be W1? W1 will be equal to VL IL cos 30 degree and W2 will be equal to, substituting phi is equal to 0, VL IL cos 30 degree. This means that when power factor is unity, then in that case the 2 wattmeter readings are positive and they are equal. Positive and both are equal. Now the second case we'll take the power factor is 0.5. Now if the power factor is 0.5, this means cos phi is 0.5 and phi is equal to 60 degrees. Now when you substitute phi is equal to 60 degrees, what is W1? W1 will be VL IL cos 30 minus 60. That means this becomes as minus VL IL cos 30 degree and W2 is equal to VL IL cos 30 plus 60, that means cos 90 and therefore this will be equal to 0. Cos 90 is 0, so W2 is 0. So when power factor is 0.5, W1 reads the total power in the given circuit as VL cos 30, and W2 will be equal to 0. This means the total power will be read by just one wattmeter W1 and the other wattmeter will be 0 when the power factor is 0.5. Now the third case, when the power factor is 0. When the power factor is 0 means cos phi is 0 or phi is equal to 90 degree. Now substitute phi is equal to 90 degree in W1 and W2. You will get it as W1 is equal to VL IL cos 60 degree and W2 will be equal to VL IL cos 30 plus 90, that is cos 120. That is VL IL cos 120. Cos 120 means this will be negative. Negative of minus VL IL cos 60. So W1 and W2 are equal, but W2 is opposite of W1, and hence for the power factor 0, that is the circuit is totally reactive, hence the total power consumed will be equal to 0. W1 is equal to minus W2 and W1 plus W2 in this case will be equal to 0. Hence the total power consumed is equal to 0. So we can see the three cases when the power factor is unity, W1 and W2 are equal, both are positive. When power factor is 0.5, W1 is reading the total power consumed in the circuit while W2 is 0. And the third case, when power factor is 0, this means that the circuit is totally reactive and hence the total power consumed will be equal to 0 and W1 will be equal to minus W2, that is both are equal but one is negative. Now how to read the negative power? For negative power, as I told you before, the wattmeter current coil has to be reversed and we can measure the negative power. Now when you see the changes in the reading of W1 and W2, as the power factor approaches from unity to 0, the value of W1 increases and it comes as the same as W1. But what about W2? W1 doesn't need much, but W2 is changes is the W2 becomes as first it is positive, then 0 and then negative. So as the power factor is reducing, the reading of the W2 goes from positive to 0 and to the negative side. So the reading of W2 basically tells about the power factor changes in the given circuit. After this, I'll take few numericals so that the concepts are clear to you. Now, we'll take up the numerical which says that two wattmeters connected to measure the power input to a three-phase circuit indicate 15 kilowatts and 1.5 kilowatts respectively. The latter reading being obtained after reversing the current coil connections. Calculate the power and power factor of the load. Now this means that if the 2 wattmeter method had been used to calculate the total power being consumed by the given circuit. So W1 is equal to 15 kilowatts and W2 was obtained after reversing the current coil. This means it is minus 1.5 kilowatt. Therefore, W1 plus W2 is equal to 15 plus minus 1.5, that is 13.5 kilowatt, and this is the power being drawn from the supply. This is the power drawn from the supply or power consumed by the load. Power consumed by the load. Now, to calculate the power factor, we'll calculate first W1 minus W2, which is equal to 15 minus 1.5. So this will come as 16.5 kilowatt. Substitute in the equation, that is tan phi is equal to root 3 times W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2. This is equal to root 3 into 16.5 divided by 13.5. So this phi will be equal to, this is equal to 2.117 and phi will be equal to 64.7 degrees. Therefore, power factor will be equal to cos of this phi. So that is equal to 0.427. Okay. So this is how we do the calculations as per the given numerical. Now, the second problem is the three inductive coils, each having a resistance of 20 ohms and reactance of 15 ohms, are connected in star and delta separately. This means across a 400 volts 50 hertz supply. Calculate in each case, that is star and delta, the readings of the two wattmeters connected in the circuit to measure the power input. So the first thing given is Rp, the resistance per phase is 20 ohms. The reactance per phase is 15 ohms. Therefore, the impedance per phase will be equal to resistance per phase whole square plus the reactance per phase whole square whole under root. This comes out to be 25 ohms. Now, the first case we'll consider is the star connection. In case of the star connection, given is VL is equal to 400 volts. So the phase voltage will be VL by root 3. This comes out to be 400 by root 3, 231 volts. The current per phase will be the voltage per phase divided by the impedance per phase. As I told you before, that is the way of calculation in three phases. Calculate the per phase voltage, then calculate the per phase current. That will be voltage per phase divided by the impedance per phase. So 231 divided by 25 will give you as 9.24 amperes. In star connection, the line current is same as the phase current. So this will be 9.24 amperes. Now the individual wattmeter readings. Before going to individual wattmeter readings, we'll first calculate the power factor, that is equal to the resistance per phase divided by the impedance per phase, that is 20 divided by 25 comes out to be 0.8. Now lagging, because it is given that it is the inductive coils. Therefore phi will be cos inverse 0.8. This is 36.87 degrees. Now to calculate W1, it is W1 we have read just now, VL IL cos 30 minus 5. Substitute VL is equal to 400, IL is 9.24 and cos 30 minus 5, that is 36.87. Substituting the values will give you the value of W1, that is 3669.46 watts. W2, the other wattmeter reading is given by VLIL cos 30 plus 5. So substitute again, VL is equal to 400 volts, IL 9.24 amperes and cos 30 plus 36.87. Substituting all this, you will get a value of 1451.86 watts. Now the total power consumed will be equal to W1 plus W2. This addition of W1 and W2 will give you the value as 5121.32 watts. Now calculate for the second part of the question, that is for the delta connection. For delta connection, given is VL is equal to 400 volts. In case of delta, the phase voltage is equal to the line voltage, so it will be 400 volts. The phase current will be Vp by Zp, that is 400 divided by 25, 16 amperes. The line current will be root 3 times the phase current for the delta connection, which is equal to root 3 into 16 will come as 27.71 amperes. Then the power factor, because the resistance per phase and inductance per phase is same, so this delta connection will be also the same as 0.8 lagging as in the star connection. Phi is equal to cos inverse of 0.8 comes out to be same as 36.87 degrees. Now W1 will be equal to VL IL cos 30 minus phi, same as before. Substitute VL is equal to 400 volts, IL 27.71 and cos 30 minus 36.87. This comes out to be 11,004.42 watts. W2 will be equal to VL IL cos 30 plus phi. Again substitute the values. VL is equal to 400 volts, IL is equal to 27.71 and cos 30 plus 36.87. This comes out to be 4354 watts. Therefore, the total power consumed will be W1 plus W2, which is equal to 15,358.42 watts. So this is the power consumed in delta and this is the power consumed in star. You can again compare over here. The load is the same, the supply is the same, but the two power consumed will be different. In the delta, the power consumed is 3 times the power consumed in the star connection. Thank you.